So Cyno's and Venti's banners has finally been dropped today. I know that was the case because when I was working on another videos for you guys today, Hoyoverse dropped like 100 notification in matters of seconds, so much so that I thought my phone was gonna break. And then as usual guys, today we have a video going through the 5 most important things you want to keep in mind before you actually go ahead to pull on Cyno's or Venti's banner. Because the aim of this video is to help you make the best decision possible on your account, especially if you are a free-to-play player, and more especially because there are just so many good characters coming right after Venti and Cyno. Now guys, here's a quick word on today's sponsor, Paimon's Bargain. If you're someone who's been spending your hard-earned money to pull for your favorite character, you'd know how expensive the top-up can get. But what if I were to tell you that from now on you can get at least a 20% off on all of your top-ups, walk-ins, and battle pass buy? How much would that help you to save? And that's what Paimon's Bargain here will provide you. Whenever you order your Primogems buy through Paimon's Bargain, you will be able to order at a discounted price. Now the reason why this is legit is because it is through discounted Coda shop, or you can understand it as gift card discount. Paimon's Bargains already have many people following, plus have worked with larger creators like Cushing Mains. And of course I wouldn't be telling you guys this if it wasn't legit. How you do it is basically join Paimon's Bargain Discord server. There will be a link down in my description, and once you're there will be direct instruction on how you can order. Right now, since there will be a Primogem shop reset in patch 3.1, they are holding an event where there is a 30% off when buying every Primogems pack in the shop. Link to Paimon's Bargain Discord in the description. As always, good luck on your character pools guys, limited spending only if you do spend, and with that let's just hop into today's video. Now first off is making the decision to pull on Cyno's banner. If you've been following me closely for the past week, we have been following quite closely with Cyno in terms of his potential, but to make the final decision in terms of pulling for Cyno is something you do want to consider a lot. If you are someone who loves Cyno in terms of his gameplay and you are going to be pulling him anyway no matter what other people say, then for sure all this doesn't apply to you. But if you're still on a little bit of the fence thinking to see whether or not he's kind of worth it for your account, then you do want to consider a lot, because Cyno is in rather with a lot of competition right now. Main reason being is that he is a hyper carry, so that there are already a lot of other hyper carries that are not just good, but there can be some that are even better than Cyno at this point in time, namely being Raiden Shogun. She can do literally everything that Cyno can in terms of an on-field damage dealer, plus she can support the team, while Cyno doesn't have any support kit, at least until he is at C4, so you will be seeing him a lot on field for up to 18 seconds. Now in terms of his gameplay, is something I really have to give him credit for because his animation is just so sick. I'm purely going to be pulling for him because I want to experience his gameplay, as I've already got so many other good DPS and also electro DPS character that I can use, not to brag or anything, but there are just very few characters that can do this cool of an animation like what Cyno can right now. So there you go, Cyno at this point in time, it just comes down a lot to character preference. However, when we're moving on to Venti, the story can be quite different, because for me personally, Venti is still an absolutely amazing character at this point. He was the very first 5-star character to ever appear in Genshin Impact, and up until this point, still no one can beat him at what he does best, which is crowd control. Of course, there are some other crowd control characters out there, which are Kazuha and Sucrose, but when it comes to sucking the whole area of enemies together, only Venti have access to such wide range, and so making him still a preferable character, especially when you come up against group situation enemies, especially in the Abyss. You will realize that your life would be quite a lot easier when it comes to situation dealing with group enemies, in opposed to not having Venti. And still right now, some of the Abyss still favors crowd control, and even a few differences in seconds can already get you either an 8 or a 9 star clear, because you know how important it is with timing in the abyss. Venti helping you out with crowd control, you'll be seeing a lot better in performance. And so many of the time it does not come down to how good of a hyper carries you have, but a lot comes down to what support character you are running on your team. Now looking at the 4-star roster of the banner, this is actually an interesting option that MiHoYo have dropped right here, because first of all, we've already known that Candice is going to be showing up on the banner, and from our past prediction of these characters, we also predicted that Cyno also have the chance to be on because she hasn't been back since patch 2.6, so seeing her here is okay. But what's surprising is that we're seeing Kuki Shinobu coming back quite early, which is actually not a bad thing, because aside from Dori, who is an electro healer right now, Kuki Shinobu is also a healer that electro teams really need, and sometimes Kuki is being used a lot more than Dori because her range of electro application isn't limited to only an area like how Dori's burst do, but she follows your active character. On top of that, she also has pretty good damage potential, further boosting it by having her constellation, so she right now is one of the best healer in terms of electro you can have, especially when you're running in a quickened team, as we don't have any Dendro character to heal ourselves yet, so electro healer is really needed. Not to mention guys, if Nahida is not a Dendro healer, then Kuki Shinobu is gonna be even needed, because who knows when we're gonna be having another Dendro character to help us in terms of healing. So all the jobs on most of the team will then fall down onto Kuki Shinobu. And then of course there's also Cyno, who helped us with healing. She is a pretty good character once you know to use her really well, because she can do everything that an Anemo support character can in terms of 4-piece Viridescent, helping your team swirl the element plus healing your team. And her rolling E skill is just so cute and fun at the same time. Her potential also becomes a lot better with Constellation unlocked, so having Cyno back on the banner is also pretty good. And as for Candice, you can first of all check out my videos where I talk very in depth about Candice, and I posted this yesterday. But to sum up about Candice, I would say that she is a very good character who have a lot of potential in terms of support. However, she's gonna be quite niche at this point in time due to her buff in terms of normal attack plus Hydro Infusion. Now her constellation isn't bad. I would say that most of her constellation are good, and it will help her directly in terms of either support or boosting her damage. And in many of the cases, she can actually be in place of Yunjin. So if you are lacking Yunjin in your account, or if you are having a higher constellation of Candice than Yunjin, then she's gonna be a very good choice. So overall guys, the character banner in patch 3.1 is very good. You will be using any of these 4-star character at some point, so it's definitely gonna be a win for you if you have some of these constellations. Looking at the weapon banner though, now this is what I would say a pretty much perfect weapon banner. As first, we've already pretty much known that Elegy is going to be coming back, as it is Venti's BIS option, and as I have discussed before, Elegy is one of the best, if not the best, supporting weapon that you can have at this point in time, because rarely do we see such a good 5-star support weapon. So if you do happen to lose to the Elegy, it's not going to be too bad unless you've already someone who already got like an R5 Elegy on your account. But the main things of this is we're going to be looking into Cyno's weapon to see how good it actually is for you to pull, because of course if you're going to be pulling it for only Cyno, then definitely it's literally the best weapon for him, because the passive is very good of giving 52% EM as attack bonus and another 28% whenever you use your E skill with a 3 stack. So definitely Cyno can make 100% use of this weapon, making it better than any of his other possible weapon options. But here's the thing though, let's say if you've already got like for example very good other polearm option of say like Jade Spear, or you know an R5 deathmatch, then is it actually worth it? Especially for those of you who are a free-to-play player, then when looking at how much potential other character is gonna be able to make use of this weapon other than Cyno, I would say it's quite limited. The only character who can make very good use other than Cyno is gonna be Xiao, where he can have up to 2 E skills activation at his C0. If you have his C1, then definitely you can make fully of this weapon. However, you would then wanna have an EM build Xiao, which is, you know, okay with him doing a lot more swirl damage, but we'll be having to alter Xiao's build quite a lot. Other than that, character like Raiden is okay, but she's only going to be making use of one stack of passive. Xiangling is also very good. Basically, every poem that have been coming out works on Xiangling, so I don't know who's going to be the best character of the poem series here. So overall, this weapon I would say is rather niche because it works perfectly on Cyno for now. Other than that, it will only work if you want to have quite a lot of EM build onto your other character or any other character later on who have a lot of E-skill activation so that they can make fully use of the passive. 4-star options on the weapon banners mostly are really good, which is why it's been said that the weapon banner this time around is something to look at, because you've already got the 3 best 4-star support weapon series, which is the Favonius Bow, the Favonius Lance, and the Sacrificial Fragment, all of which you want to have at least an R5 copies of it on your account. The Lance roll is a bit more limited, where it only works best for Keqing at this point in time, but since Keqing has been buffed, and if you want to build her at this point, then having a Lance roll helping her out is not a bad thing. Now, something to look at is that we're having a new Claymore weapon here. To straight up review, I wouldn't say that this Claymore is that good, because when we're looking at the passive, a 24% of EM bonus looks quite decent, and your party member also have like a 30% of this buff as well. But this weapon only give a bonus flat attack, which isn't really too good of a buff. Say if your support character is running 1000 EM, we're only going to be having like 240 attack bonus, and your entire team's getting like a 300 attack bonus. Plus your character is going to be investing all of their stats into EM, making them very hard to have their burst up. So when looking at this, it will be a lot better for you just to go with the other already good support Claymore options, like, you know, the Favonius Greatsword or the Forest Regalia, who also give a lot of support to your team and also helping your support character to have their burst up more often. Or if you want to look at an offensive Claymore for DPS, sub DPS option, we already have like the Serpent Spine, the Akamaru, or even the Lithic's Blade at this point in time. So overall, if you're planning to pull for the weapons, it's gonna be a pretty good banner. But then if we're looking at an overall good investment for especially a free-to-play account, it's not always worth to spend your Primogems on weapon banner, or if you just want to fully invest into Cyno's weapon, because as we've discussed, it's rather limited. And then the 5th thing to consider before pulling is going to be future banners. Now obviously we know that right after Venti and Cyno is going to be Nilou and Beidou, and as I've discussed in this video, these 2 characters are absolutely going to be fantastic. Beidou we've already known because he is on the rerun, but he is right now still one of the best off-field support dealer that you want to have on your account right now. Plus he work with Dendro reactions because he gives up to 125 EM to the team. So those are the characters that's going to be right after, not to mention the patch after of 3.2 is going to be most definitely Nahida, our Dendro Archon. And as we've seen with the trend on Archons, they are going to be absolutely nuts. Hoyoverse can never mess up an Archon, especially in terms of their power or support utilities, because they just have to be the best at what they do. Otherwise, the community is just going to be giving really bad feedback on them. So as always, it's not going to be a must-have to pull any character, but in terms of Archons, they're just almost always going to be a very good character to have on your account. And that, not to mention guys, any of the rerun that is coming on the next patch. Now I don't know yet if there's going to be any new character alongside with Nahida, but if it's not, it's most likely going to be a 3 character rerun for patch 3.2. We don't know which character is going to be yet, and it's going to be kind of tough for me to predict what they are. But since most of us don't have all the character that we want yet, reruns character many of the times are very important. So of course the final decision is going to be on you to pull for which character that you like, and I hope that this video have been able to do that for you. Now if you're still having trouble saving up for the character that you would love, then in collaboration with Paimon's Bargain, we're doing a 6,480 Primogems pack giveaway once patch 3.1 banners drop. So if you're new to the channel guys, be sure to subscribe and join my Discord server where I will be holding the giveaway. With that guys, I wish you a super day and I will catch you on my next video.